Do you need that mouse? All right. Are we here?
Are we live?
Yep.
All right.
All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we got it.
We are here. We are live.
There you go.
Oh, man.
How can we tell if there's anyone here with us? I saw we had 7 or 8 people at the beginning. Hi, Kim.
What's up, Kim? Can you hear us?
We don't go live often. So excuse us for our technical difficulties, but hopefully we can get this started. All right. All right, Josh, you got to kick us off. Hey, Chocolate Sooner. Welcome. He's got his notes, guys.
All right. The Reunion, Season 7. What are your first impressions?
Holy shit, that was the most boring crap I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I totally pulled it.
You were almost falling asleep.
No, I did fall asleep.
We're all three of us are watching this together. Like Josh is sitting next to Ashley. He's looking at her like, is she sleeping? Like,
I pulled an Alex, guys.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
man.
So they are bringing everyone back, even some people from previous seasons.
Yeah, and then it showed us like pieces of like their season again. Like, who gives a shit? We're not here for their season. We're here for the new season. There was just so much stuff in this hour and a half that didn't even need to be there. They just drug it on, and I was like, man, when is this gonna be over?
Like, we've got someone Havoc 6280
Havoc,
here.
what's up, man?
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible to like Hannah any less.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, she kept she's working on herself. She's doing
Yeah.
better. She's redeeming herself, but yet somehow she's not.
No, that was
she's
crazy,
like
man.
apologizing without apologizing.
Well, no, but then it's funny.
So
Like
bad.
after all that, and then she finally did apologize. But then it's like, what does that apology really mean at the end of that, right?
Well,
So-
I mean, it was a lot of a lot, and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, I mean, I apologize for that. Like she was like, that was an in passing apology. Because
Yeah.
when it was specifically asked of her,
Oh,
what do you
yeah,
have
nah.
to say? I'm
She was
working
like-
on
she was like,
myself. I know
I'm me.
I'm kind of a bitch. Like,
Well, what do we think of how everyone looked, first off?
Everybody looked good, man. They're really fine.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyone stand out to you?
I mean, Hannah was talking about how she's done a lot of work on herself, and we've all seen the pics online and stuff. So we all kind of knew that she'd lost some weight and everything, but she was looking great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about Garrett? He was sporting a new look.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that fashion outfit, like that fashion choice, but I mean, it's kind of
No,
bold.
yeah,
but I do like
so-
his hair. I like his
Little Prince Charming
Yeah,
look.
like
Yeah.
that, like Ramses. Like, what the hell was that dude
Ramses.
wearing? Man, that dude was wearing like a chick shirt with like the thumb thing that goes through and the net shit, and I was like,
And the
then
striped
and then a
pants.
jacket that's like 5 times too big for him. I was like, what the hell is this dude wearing,
I
man?
felt like on the show Ramses was trapped in the 80s. Now I feel like he moved on to the 90s with this, like,
Like a
MC
coloring
Hammer
bag.
kind of look or something. You know?
I felt
Yeah,
like it
I
was
don't
a
know what the hell's
very
that
much
dude
like a Beetlejuice look.
yeah, something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't digging it. I was like, what the hell
Well,
is this guy wearing?
like before we get into the details of it, the summary of it is Ramses got let off the hook, I think,
Yeah.
pretty easily. And Tyler definitely got
big
let off
time
the
got
hook.
let off the hook and actually like covered for his bullshit. So that was just crazy.
Yeah, and then there was a lot of Nick dumping, which, I mean, I get there's probably a lot about Nick that we don't know. But, I mean, they talk about beating a dead horse.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and that's the thing too. Like, so much of this, like, we were hoping to see drama. It was more whining than anything, right? There was just so much whiny bullshit that was going on during this freaking reunion, and I was like, let's get past. Even Garrett had to speak up and say, all right, this is enough of this. Let's move on to something else, because it really was. I was like, man, it was just so damn whiny.
Yeah, so we got the two couples there, and they're still together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no surprise to me that Garrett and
Right, no surprise at all.
Taylor
Well,
are.
the funny thing is when they're talking about his fashion too, she's like, "Oh, that's totally Garrett." Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, that ain't totally Garrett. That's all her, man. No way that he just friggin' changed his whole look, for nothing.
I don't know, maybe Ramsey's dressed in somebody. Yeah, there we go. Havoc said Ramsey's dressed.
Dressed
Garrett.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, let's get into Tyler and Ashley. What do we think about this?
Oh, so Ashley was like, basically just letting him off the hook, and she's like, "Oh, I already know all the stuff behind the scenes bullshit." You asked this dude flat out do your kids know what you look, that, you know, they know even what you look like? And he's like, I don't know. And then you're trying to bowl it off like it wasn't a big deal. Like, if you already knew the answer to that, why are you asking that question?
She wasn't sure. She didn't realize that was part of it, that he wasn't comfortable putting it.
Here's my thing. Garbage. He says like he didn't want to bring him into it, but what difference would it matter if he said, yeah, they know what I look like, and I'm part of their lives? What would that change?
Yeah.
Right, and the fact that he hasn't been part of their lives anymore, it's like, what the hell, you know? So
yeah, and then they kind of played it off like he was doing his friend a favor by having the kids and stuff, and now that it's hard on him that he doesn't get to be around them. Like, there's literal like receipts online of court documents of unpaid child support, not taking his visitations that he fought to have, and he's not participating in. So unless there's some other part of that we're not getting, I mean, I don't understand.
And Chocolate Sooner saying, I don't think she's still, at this point, she still doesn't know everything. If she'd been looking at it online like everybody else has, she'd probably know a hell of a lot more. Like, there is so much online now. I mean, the mom coming out saying exactly what went down, other people coming out. There's so much out there that's come out about this.
Well, he didn't want that. He didn't want, now the birth certificates, and he's like, and they didn't ask for this, Billy. Yeah. That's not on them.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and Kim so brings up the child support.
Yeah. Well, and then you mentioned that,
Yeah. And I mean, they didn't, like, ask any tough questions of Tyler whatsoever. They let him explain his truth, and then that was it. They just accept it.
Kind of like they let Nick explain his truth, right?
Right, yeah.
And they just accepted it.
Right, exactly. They beat the hell out of him.
No, they just kept going and going.
Now, he says he's just helping out a friend. That's all it was.
Yeah. It was, No, see, and like
I don't help out friends that way personally, but
yeah.
And he only owes Ashley an explanation.
Yeah. I mean,
how about those kids?
He probably owes the kids
an explanation, right?
An explanation. Yeah. He doesn't owe us an explanation. He's right on that.
Oh, and
but you did put yourself on a show.
And I'll tell you, that was funny shit too when he was talking about, Ashley shows me this unconditional love that I've never gotten before. Guess who probably has given you that unconditional love? Your freaking kids. You know, so it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, and she says she knows more of the social media, not that. I just feel like there's a lot to dig in, and they didn't even try on this one. They just let him off the hook.
Yeah, big time. They completely let that dude off the hook, and then they beat Nick up over just stupid crap. You know, it was like, come on, dude.
Chris says they needed a villain, and the villain was Nick.
Oh yeah. I
could have picked a lot of other villains.
No doubt. Yeah.
But I can see, like, I guess there was enough people saying he wasn't owning up to, I guess, some of the stuff he had said about Hannah, and that's fine. Call him out on it, but just he stood his ground. He was like, I'm not backing down from this. He was like, deny. He either didn't say it or he was staying true to his denial.
Yeah. Now, is it a problem? And maybe he's right. Maybe he just does owe Ashley an explanation. If he explained it to her and she accepts that, is there really a problem?
I mean, there's a problem between him and the kids, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, if he would explain everything to her from the get-go, from ground zero, like, look, just laid it all out, and then she accepts that, great. But that's not what happened. We know damn well that's not what happened. She can sit there and say that happened all she wants, but that's horseshit.
Her dad didn't know it.
You know, her dad didn't know, right? Her dad just came out saying, hey, I just found out a couple weeks ago about the kids. So, yeah, no, it's all horseshit.
Yeah. So then they move on to Ramses and Marissa. What did you guys think about that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, again, they kind of let. I mean, I don't think they let Ramses completely off the hook. I mean, they got into him a little bit, and he, he was on the hot seat for sure. But
they didn't bring up. He brought up his version of the condom conversation,
right?
And I really wish she had kind of chimed in and at least said, "Yeah, he's right." Like, it didn't actually play out the way it was shown to us. But, like, they didn't call him out on that. They didn't call him out on the fact that he was, like, kind of hounding her to have sex while she was sick. And,
they didn't that at all.
And blaming her. They kept pointing out all of her energy. And, like, even Nick, the host, was like, someone's going to love you for your energy. You're beautiful, and don't smolder that energy. You know what I mean? Like,
just be you.
But, like, she wasn't energetic enough, and then she was too energetic. So it's like...
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Ramses, but when Nick Lachey said the thing at the end, you are beautiful, I'm like, well, he's not saying she's not beautiful.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So I just feel like he was trying to throw some extra shade out of nowhere to him.
And that's what he's like, I'm not throwing shade at you, Ramses.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, what are you doing?
I think he was trying... I mean, I think Marissa's probably come a long way. And, yeah, she got a little emotional tonight because she just recently watched it all back.
Right.
But I think he saw that, if you just watch that and you think someone's just gone through that, you feel like they need to be uplifted a little bit. She was definitely like, I want to be chosen. I want to be loved.
Yeah, and it was funny when like Ramses is talking about being overwhelmed. She's like whispering, "I hate this guy." You know what I mean?
Somebody mentioned that earlier, how annoying that was. And there was so much whispering going on amongst the women in this one. And some of the shit they were saying, I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like the guy was making a good point, and they're just whispering nonsense about it.
Hannah had something to say about everybody.
Yeah,
yeah. There was a lot of head shaking during this reunion. So, yeah. And then we have Marissa's mom's there as well.
Mm-hmm, yeah, which everybody was hoping she was going to be, but she didn't go off the way we was hoping she would. She actually was like, "Hey, I'm glad you broke up with her. Thanks."
Yeah, I mean,
you saved her some heartbreak later on. But
she said she was devastated and had to like repair her essentially after that.
Yeah, she was like, I had to go pick her up and put the pieces back together. Someone, Havoc here says Marissa was more mad at Nick than she was at Ramses.
Yeah, it seemed like that, right? Yeah, like
she was all about like piling on with Nick. Like it almost seemed like Nick was gonna get off, and Marissa's like, "Wait,
we're not done with this yet." Yeah, she did let Ramses off the hook, but she mentioned, she's like, we're all human. We've all made. She's like, I was effing that guy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a funny comment.
She was like, even after we broke up, I was still screwing him. So. Which, I mean, let's be honest, who hasn't been there, right? Who hasn't screwed around with an ex, right after breakups and stuff? Sure, everybody's been there, but that was just hilarious for her to say that out loud.
Yeah, I did feel like they needed to give Marissa's mom more time to shine and get in there, but, And I mean, it was weird that they're bringing some of these cast members and giving updates on them. Like, we get an update on Jessica, like she's now with someone, they're married. I'm like, well, who cares? Eventually these people are going to go on to marry people. Who cares? Do we need an update?
No, you don't need an update on people who didn't freaking get married in the show. I mean, and even like having Marshall there still. I'm like, who gives a shit about Marshall?
Marshall did really nothing.
Yeah, exactly. He was just sitting there the whole time.
You got a little.
At the very end, they said something to him.
Yeah, I know, but there was really nothing to him. He's like, I'm still single.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
I liked the Jessica update when we were looking at the wedding, and he's like popping the champagne. I'm like, oh, don't give her any liquor, man. Like, no alcohol for that.
Didn't you watch her show?
She's a mom now, so maybe she's better. I don't know.
Yeah, but to me, all that was just nonsense filler, and it didn't need to be there.
Yeah, Nancy was there. Yeah. Again, no real update from that. She moved to New York. Okay, cool.
I'm like, good for you. Okay, yeah exactly.
But I feel like they should have cut that out and got more in on like Tyler and other things that happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they did spend a lot of time on Nick.
Yeah, they did way too much time.
Man.
It was ridiculous, and they were just trying to beat a dead horse at this point, which finally, like I said, Garrett finally had to speak up about it. Like, look, this is stupid. Let's just move on.
What I thought was odd, too, is when Hannah's sitting there saying, like, yeah, I need to work on my directness. I can come across as a little bit of a bitch. I mean, she's still doing that. Yeah, in this moment, she's still coming across that way. Proven by when he tries to talk. She's like, shh, I'm talking, and she, shuts him up, and it's like, you just never give this guy any kind of respect. And then they turn it around to all the lack of respect that he's giving. However, there is a little bit of question about that note of becoming the most famous person on Love is Blind. It's as a goal there.
Yeah, I mean, Nick tried to go the classy route, but Marissa was just not going to let him off the hook. Because apparently he was liking some messages, and that upset them. And
liking some hate messages.
Yeah, some hate messages, and that became like a big deal. So
you know what I think that got glossed over and overlooked was the fact that she was mad at him, so she decided to go through his things.
Yeah, that was like, what?
Like, okay, you didn't like what you read, but
she's like, so curse me and my girlfriend's went through all this shit. And I was like, what?
That was deceitful.
Oh yeah, big time.
But we just glossed over that because of what we found.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and like Hannah kind of doubles down. Like she says, I'm just being direct, but she does eventually real quickly apologize to him.
Yeah, like the last minute kind of, I am sorry for what I did.
I don't even know if the subtitles caught it, to be honest with you.
It seemed like the hosts were looking for a more sincere apology, but she wasn't going to give it.
Yeah, because she gave it after she talked to Kate. I think that's what, because I think Vanessa kept asking her.
She said something about sorry for being so cruel or something.
Yeah, like Vanessa was like, is there anything you want to say to Nick? And I know I need to work on my delivery. And like, I could have, I mean, I'm a little bit of a bitch sometimes.
Well, then what Marissa's mom said to freaking Kate, she's like, she was like an asshole to you for a year or something like that. Whatever
that was hilarious. She's like, I love you. Girl, I trust you. And then Marissa's mom was like, you do not let her get away with that.
Now, she said Nick's essentially fake. What do you guys think about that? Do you think Nick is being fake or not?
I think there's probably some showmanship there. You know, like he's trying to save face. He's trying to be the gentleman on camera. And did he call her a grenade, guys? I don't know.
Yeah.
Steven kind of says yes,
did,
but
yeah.
it seemed like it was third hand. No one really has any receipts on any of this stuff.
And at the end of the day, Steven has already made himself out to be such a liar. It's like, can you believe what Steven says through some of it, right? So
I mean, I believe, and he did say something about he was underwhelmed. He owned up to saying that about her.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'm sure there's things he's said and done that aren't going to pay, and he's not owning up to that.
Would he had just said that though and said, "Yeah, I did say that. That was a mistake.
Right.
I'm sorry."
And just been done.
I feel like he could have said that.
He could have. He could have fessed up to some of that stuff and been done with it. But whatever, man. I mean, they just tried to beat it to death, and I was like, dude, just move on, man.
Matter of fact, Ramses kind of like jumps in and is like, "This is the time you want to be honest," and you know, like trying to coax him for like an apology. But he's like, "I didn't say that, man." So yeah.
I mean, like I said, he's denying. He's like, I don't know if he was raised like, hey, once you're in a lie, you better stick to it.
Stick to it until you did.
Or he didn't say it. I don't know. But they did try to make him look bad, and there's probably some bad parts to him, but it ain't near as bad as what Hannah has done.
No.
For sure.
Yeah, and people are really torn on these two because we see like Nick's kind of a basement dweller, right? You know, and he lives off his parents, so some people kind of hating on him for that. But like Hannah's just kind of brutal to this guy at the same time.
Yeah, no, still. I mean, and she did say, "Look, watching it back, I was an asshole." So.
Yeah, I mean, I think Marissa even said something about like she's been a bitch to me or whatever. So I'm wondering how much Marissa's mom knows about that for her to lean in and say she was mean to Kate. Like, I don't think Marissa's mom likes Hannah too much. She's probably Team Nick.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
So they bring like Leo on. What do you guys
they brought
think
him
about
Brittany
that?
on, and it was like that added nothing really. I mean,
there wasn't much to tell here.
Yeah, no, I mean it was cool.
They're friends now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's cool to hear. You know, whatever. You know, you heard a little. Saw a couple pictures from their trip to Miami, and hey, we're friends now. Cool.
It was like a picture of one awkward selfie, and then the Rolex in the ring.
Yeah,
like it was like.
Yeah.
You didn't take any more pictures on this vacation?
I mean, Tim seems like he's a fan of Leo, though.
Yeah, Tim really likes him.
Yeah, no kidding.
He was going to bat for him.
Yeah, sooner talking about Ramsey's shoulder pads. Yeah, no doubt. Ramsey's whole get up was just crazy to me. I didn't get it, man. It was just ridiculous looking.
Tim might be snuggling up to the money. I don't know.
Yeah, and I do agree that Hannah was pretty vindictive. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, Leo came on there and he apologized, said what he had to say, and whatever, man.
He owned his stuff.
Right.
You know, he knew, he's like, he said his worst nightmare in hell or something would be watching back what he did to Hannah, his little temper tantrum. So he owned up to that. He's owned up to that on social media already. I like that him and Brittany are still friends. I don't know, Leo's gone up a little bit in my book. I do think he's not anybody I would want in my circle, but he's fun to watch, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think the Leo thing added. I was hoping there would be more to the Miami story, but it's kind of like they left it where we're friends. It didn't really work out, and it's like,
he kept drinking all my stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
that's
if I
a big deal, apparently.
Take this sip and take this sip. Like,
a little bit
she's like, it would be the same drink. I mean, it'd be different if you ordered two different types of drinks.
Right,
it's
like, let me try what you got. Yeah,
he's got his
like, he's got a martini,
Yeah.
she's got a martini. He just wants a little bit of both,
I mean, it would have been nice for him to say he was just making sure it's not poisoned or drugged or something, but I don't know.
So it doesn't seem like many people are feeling Hannah here. So
all the comments are coming in just beating the hell out of Hannah, which I mean, pretty much rightfully so, right?
She can't help herself. Like, if you look at some of her social media posts recently, she makes fun of how bitchy she is and how she comes across. And it's almost like she's like, and she's said in some interviews that she's going through therapy and like self-help and trying to like better herself that way. But she doesn't seem to really want to change.
Well, I mean, like I just saw one earlier today where she was talking about like, why did he let me treat him like shit like that?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe Nick let me treat him that way.
know.
Yeah, that's like a weird comment, you know?
Like, blame the victim.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, she tends to do that pretty well, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because she's loud and she's direct. So, like, and she'll overrun the conversation. She shushed him, and he's not openly disrespectful like that. If he talks behind her back, maybe. But he's not going to, like, yell over her. He's just going to let her keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, and Hannah's just running all over him. It doesn't help that she kind of has like the power in the relationship with like the money and the know-how for the most part, you know.
Look at Jessica's comment here. Hannah's apology. I'm sorry that you let me treat you that way.
Yeah,
That's pretty
basically.
funny. I'm sorry that got portrayed that way because you let me.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Oh, I do like that. The irony that Leo and Brittany might have the healthiest relationship
No shit.
of everybody on the show.
Right, yeah, no kidding.
Good one, Faith. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get into Steven, and this is kind of uneventful too, right?
Well, Steven wanted to talk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when are we getting to
wait.
me, man?
He could
Like,
not wait.
He wanted to talk, but then he wasn't willing up to give the details. He's like, he's like, nobody cares to hear what the hell I got to say anyway, and nobody wants to believe me, so I'm not going to tell you guys shit.
well, because it was out of respect for the girl that he had never met on DM. And then, like, I'm glad that Monica said it. She's like, so you'll respect her, but which he didn't
But
even
not
have
like
to
your
say who that
fiancé.
was.
Right,
he could just
exactly.
say what was in the
Right.
text.
Yeah,
he didn't have to
exactly.
say who he was texting.
And then he did get into a little bit of like how it started, I guess, right? Like she was talking about some kind of heart condition, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden it got into fetishes.
Which,
Like,
you know,
well, all right.
as every heart condition conversation segues
yeah, it
into,
goes right into,
obviously.
of course, that's the next best part of the conversation.
And
right?
someone
Cardiac
said
cath.
it's pretty amazing how like Nick comes off worse than Steven in this whole thing.
Yeah.
which-
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Or
I don't know.
Tyler.
Yeah. I don't know why they focus so much on Nick compared to...
You know why?
They want
Because is
villain-
it even
him
that
to
a
be
big
villain.
deal that he said that?
You know why? Because Nick let him do it. He let him.
Yeah,
beat
I
up
mean
on him.
that's his story. He lets people walk all over him, I guess. So.
That's right.
Is it Foodie? Nick became Clay 2.0. That's true.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because Clay came across very respectful.
Mm-hmm.
He was there, but he wasn't really there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if we get too much from this text. Like, I'm kind of surprised the show doesn't like try and somehow preserve those texts at all or anything. I get he probably deleted them soon, but you would think they'd be like, hold on, let's get a photo of this thing so we got some receipts here.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you can get deleted texts pretty
Oh, yeah,
easily.
yeah,
like-
And Monica's not really filling us in that well for this either. Like, what exactly did she read that really set her off?
Yeah, because she didn't get into the text, and she could have, right? They could have asked Monica, hey, what did the text
I
say?
mean, some of the stuff he said on camera is a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
Right.
maybe she was just, and you could see the look on her face when he'd say it that she
Oh,
was
yeah.
uncomfortable. So maybe she just wasn't comfortable saying it.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, she easily could have said it all, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she said she was completely blindsided this. I guess some people are saying there were some hints there, or,
Yeah.
you know, we've seen him say some inappropriate stuff during the show. So,
Right.
you know, he's really into like, hey, you could just take advantage of me and do whatever. So
That's right.
he's got
Treat me like a
some-
piece of meat.
He said it
Yeah.
on this. You
Yeah.
can treat me like a piece of meat. Exactly.
Yeah, that's his thing. He's like begging for someone to do something. So
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't beg Netflix to put up his like handle up on there, like, you know, make sure everybody knows how to DM me.
Right,
like,
right, exactly. Yeah. Ladies.
just go ahead and put my
please
cell
jump
phone
in.
number up
Right.
there.
Oh, man.
yeah, and then we get into Tim and Alex, and this one kind of just goes on and on.
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
seems
This
like
is
the
another
host
one that's
like
drug
lost
out.
control of this
Oh,
one
yeah.
and didn't even know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, and then Tim's talking, and the girls are whispering, oh, he just rambling on and going in circles. And I was like, I think he's actually trying to make a point here, but
You're not taking Tim's side on this, are you?
I'm not taking either one of their side on this, actually.
Whoa!
I think they were both freaking, I didn't like either one of them. I don't like Tim or Alex.
Well,
I didn't like either one of them.
Here's the deal. He did say, like, I guess she put his hand. This was the argument that we were all questioning, right?
Yeah.
That she put his hand on his mouth. And he said that was not abuse. That was not. And she's saying, you know, he's trying to have this off camera and he's getting louder. So she's basically trying to shush him. So
She was trying to de-escalate.
Yeah.
De-escalate
So they both
situations,
kind
right.
of agreed on that part of it.
Right.
But then he seemed more bothered that she called him a little bitch.
Well, that
He didn't like that.
And they kept constantly disagreeing on like how those arguments actually went down and what
Yeah.
they talked about during the
Yeah,
arguments. right?
each time one of them's talking, the other is completely shaking their head.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So
Yeah.
neither. So I mean, obviously the truth's somewhere in the middle, and you know we'll never know what it is, I guess.
I think once she referred to him as little ass bitch, that like
That's done.
I just shuts that shit down at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
because he seems to be all about respect, and
Oh, yeah.
like if you don't respect him, he shuts down and he
Well,
just can't handle it.
He's
Right,
the
exactly.
dog, right? So
Yeah.
that's the little ass bitch. I mean, he
But then-
doesn't
but-
want to be the big dog. Like, I mean, he
Yeah,
can
but
choose
then,
what dog
but
he
then
is.
he was trying to mention about how, look, man, there was that night where, she supposedly went to the bar and freaking and never told me when she was coming home. Nothing. I didn't hear from her till 10 o'clock the next morning. And that
But
kind of
then
got pushed to the wayside.
Well, she also didn't say or said that didn't happen. So, like,
She didn't say it didn't happen. Remember, she was like, oh, she's like, no, because the night whenever I met your parents, he's like, I'm not talking about that night. And she's like, shush, I'm talking.
Yeah, and she tried to say, you don't let me get a word in, but he's like, look what's going on.
Right, you're freaking lying here about this shit. Right, exactly.
Now, but I will say, like, I'm really torn on these two. I mean, bottom line, they just don't work.
Oh, no, not at all.
no.
So, but I really think it's more on Tim than her, because he never really could answer why he did that thing with her dad, and then like had such a quick turnaround.
And I don't like that Nick and Vanessa did not harp him on how cold he was in the breakup. Like,
Oh, yeah, he was cold.
they didn't even bring that up. All it was brought up was like, how do you ask my dad and then have me meet your parents and then 24 hours later break up with me? Not how cold he was when he did that.
Yeah, he said something like never wanting to see her again, and
Well,
I'm like,
we can clearly see why.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Right. That's the funny part too. Because Vanessa's like, "Hey, maybe after the show you should talk," and he's
Nah.
like, "Hell no!"
they're like, nah,
Like, what the hell
we're
we need to
good.
talk for? We ain't talked in a year. We don't need to talk now.
But we got clarification on the nap.
Right.
And I feel like that's justified.
Yeah, that's legit, right?
If she had to work, she spent all day with his parents, and she's got to go to work at 9, and she goes down to take an hour nap. Honestly, an hour nap before you work a night shift? Like, now, could she have taken the night off? Like, that should have been the thing.
Right. There you go. That's
like,
true.
you got to spend all day with my parents. Maybe you should try to take the night off.
Right.
Maybe she did. Maybe she couldn't get out of it. We never got into that.
I mean, this whole ordeal has to be pretty exhausting with the cameras and stuff
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
that. So, I mean, I just feel like that's nothing to blow up about. That's you just talk that out. But
Well, I mean, Brittany even talked about that, right? About just her, meeting with Leo the first time, and she's like, "Look, he was actually kind of keeping me calm. It was just the cameras being in our face the first time we're meeting and all that stuff. It was exhausting."
she wished
right?
he would have kissed her more, so
Right,
she
right.
wasn't talking.
yeah, and I do agree, Chocolate Sooner. Like, I think like once they had that argument, he kind of like checked out and was just going through the motions. But he shouldn't have done that with her dad, though. He should have called it quits or told her how he felt before he had that conversation.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And I mean, it was a touching moment, and he did seem genuine, but like, and then he's like at the next moment saying, "I don't want to see you again."
Genuine.
You can actually say it that way, Billy.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, but it's kind of the same thing that they were giving Ramsey shit for, right? Like, hey, you could have told her you were having these doubts before, because up to that she was thinking everything's all golden because you weren't telling her you were having doubts, right? So and then you just break up with her. So for her, it's like out of the blue.
Yeah, and then she mentioned that. She's like, I was not given a choice. There wasn't a conversation to have. Like, maybe those were differences we could have worked out.
Typically in a breakup, you're not given a choice.
But I mean, like, it was.
So when she said that, I was like, yeah.
I get what she was saying though. That he was having the doubts, and like, so they could have had a conversation of like, maybe those are things that they didn't need to really be a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe, okay, well now that I'm
or
in on
like
the
maybe we're going to
doubts.
go through this experiment, but I'm not going to introduce you to my family like this. Or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I get the show kind of like thrust them into that, the family situation, but
They also say you got to go to the altar, but these people don't make it.
Yeah,
what was up with that this season? Like they
no
let
kidding.
these people break up before they're even at the altar.
Yeah, it was just that was stupid.
Yeah.
So, what else?
When
Garrett and Taylor, they touch on them at the end.
They did
They
not
are
move
not
to California.
in
Oh,
California.
so they're still here in our area, man. I was like, damn, we could have just called Garrett up and be like, hey, why don't you come on the show with us? I mean,
Yeah.
And we see her family, but we don't see his family.
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't really bring, I mean, I guess they bring it up a little bit where he was willing to go, but then I guess when it came down to it, he was struggling to leave his family.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, she's the one who moved away from her family. He's never
exactly.
actively thought about doing that.
Right,
so.
she's already kind of used to it. So
Yeah.
I think this is actually a pretty good scenario for them.
Yeah, and I'll say, as much as she harped wanting to be in San Diego through the whole show, it was cool of her to finally just change her mind and be like, all right, you know what, dude, that's fine. Let's stick with Fredericksburg for now, and then we'll figure something out.
And she seems happy with that situation. Yeah. She doesn't seem like she's really like... I'm just hoping there's not a resentment between the two of them. It doesn't seem like there is at this point.
Well, I tell you what's hilarious. So they're like, oh, we've taken tons of trips. Let me show this is like in England and other places. then they're like, yeah, the next thing we need a vacation. I'm like, vacation? Like your whole damn marriage has been a vacation so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I just wonder too if like his parents weren't there. Are they like a big reason why he didn't go to San Diego? And I don't know.
I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure they had something to do with it.
And like before, it was her family that didn't really want to be on camera. Now it's like his setting, so that's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, this is filmed in L.A. So
Yeah, this
San Diego to
was,
L.A., whereas Virginia all the way to L.A.
Yeah.
It's harder for his family to get to this reunion, I guess, logistically.
So someone said they didn't recognize Jessica. I didn't recognize her too much either because like one,
she wasn't drunk.
that might be, but like she was with someone that wasn't on the show, so that added to the confusion for me as well.
And that's the thing that killed me too. Why bring people back from the show with like a new spouse that had nothing to do with the show? None of that. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I guarantee the only reason they did it is because they had a kid. We're like, oh, they've got a kid, so let's bring her on.
Yeah, because Vanessa's been like really wanting kids.
Right, exactly.
Which we got to see Zach and Bliss.
Zach and Bliss came back.
Yeah.
We didn't see their kid, but they talked about their kid.
Now Zach's put on some weight, and I was like, holy crap, man.
Yeah, he put on a little bit of weight. That's what happens when you're happy, I guess. You know?
They're happy, and they have a baby.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, life's good. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But he shows off some stuff, and I don't know. That seemed a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
That whole... Anything with Zach.
Zach
pretty
They're laughing, but no one really else is.
Yeah,
so.
Zach's just an awkward dude, man.
Yeah, but Bliss loves him for it,
right,
so like they're good together.
Exactly.
All right, so what are we missing here?
Let's see, what are people saying?
I think we covered everything.
People are just hating on Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how the commenters out here? How do you guys feel about Nick? Like, since Netflix seemed to like focus a lot on him, and do you think he's like the bad guy? Is he the villain?
Well,
are we missing something?
It wasn't even Netflix that focused on him. It was Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey just allowed the conversation to stay so long in there. They could have ended it, but they didn't. They just allowed it to drag out.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell, man?
I don't even think this is the thing they should be really focusing on. And like I said, for them to kind of like brush over Tyler, I was
they let that dude so off the hook. It was just ridiculous, man. And then, and then for Ashley to just pull the crap she pulled, saying, oh, I knew all along. No, you didn't. You get the hell out of here. You're full of crap.
I would have liked...
I tell you, Ashley looked pretty good, though.
Yeah, she did. She was looking... Everybody was looking good, man. They were all looking good.
They all had their own little
Tyler.
Except freaking damn Ramses with his crazy-ass outfit, and then a little bit with Garrett's outfit. Yeah.
What'd you think of Taylor's little... She had like a superhero
that was weird
costume.
too, man.
It was like metal or something.
Yeah, I was like, damn, you're going to poke somebody's eye out. It's like, holy crap.
It's very fashion savvy. Fashion forward.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
People are loving Nick for the most part, and not so much Hannah. And like, it was kind of interesting too, because Nick's like, you can ask everybody, but no one was really backing him up, except maybe Garrett a little bit. Garrett's like, can we move on? But he didn't back him up.
Garrett was like, look, bro, he's like, you had a hell of a lot more patience than I would have in that situation.
Yeah.
So.
I was surprised he didn't speak up and be like, I'll back him up. He was just kind of, can we move on from this?
Right. Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen Tim deal with Hannah. Like, if Hannah had talked to Tim that way.
Tim would not allow that. Tim would shut that down so early.
He would have been gone. That dude would have been done.
Yeah. And, I guess Leo was Hannah's other, right? So what if Leo and Hannah had ended up together?
Yeah.
Because then what would she have had to harp on about, like, the not being able to take care of yourself? Because he's got money.
Yeah, then
I hear he has money.
Then he'd be harping on her about the money, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, you quit your job. I mean.
And that's what I'm saying. They could never prove that Nick kind of said these things. It was kind of like a he said, she said kind of thing.
Well, it was a he said, she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Marissa just was really quick to back Hannah up.
Oh, yeah.
But practically took it over for her.
Well, and the thing is, like...
Stephanie says, Hannah's parents don't even like her.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Yeah, well, and the thing is, like, in everything the women were saying about it was all coming, like, second and third hand from what they're saying they heard some of the guys say, right? So it was like, yeah, who knows? Man.
I mean, it seemed like Steven was kind of confirming it, but it didn't even seem like he had all the details.
Yeah. Well,
so
and as Steven said, we don't care what Steven has to say.
Smooth saying Leo's a candidate for perfect match. Leo's not attractive enough to be on perfect match. right?
Yeah, that's probably
He's
true.
not.
Yeah, I need more Leo.
Yeah, right.
I need more
He'd
Leo.
be cool
What,
to see.
what
he'd be
show
cool
do
to-
you think
he'd be
Leo
cool to
should
see in
be
something.
on?
I don't know. Let's put him on the mole or something. At the very
There you
least,
go. There you go. That'd be cool. Yeah, put Leo on the
All
mole.
right.
That would be cool to see Leo on
I
the mole.
need more Leo action.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially like figuring out different art things.
They
you
should have
know,
let
like
him go to
clues.
Mexico. Come on.
Yeah, they weren't
Yeah, they
disappointed
should've.
by that. I mean, he had the money to go to Miami. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of Team Nick. I thought they were beating up on him.
Oh yeah, no, I was
for no
definitely- I was
reason,
definitely
really.
Team Nick on that, man. I mean, did he say some of that shit? Probably, right? And he should have just came out and admitted to it. But at the end of the day, who cares? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
whatever.
that's the thing to me. It's like, well, where you going with this?
Right.
Well,
yeah,
is
that-
it
and that's it,
more-
right? They're just dragging it out for the sake of dragging it out.
They're saying he's disrespectful to her off camera and making himself look good on camera. Is it worse that he's disrespectful to her off camera and that she's just openly disrespectful to him? What's worse?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do this time. They normally do show clips and then they ask them to explain things. They didn't
Yeah,
do that
that's
at
true.
all,
No.
really,
Yeah.
this point.
Like, what were you thinking here? Like, ask Ramses, what were you thinking here when she's sitting there saying that she doesn't feel good and she's just not feeling sexual and she doesn't want to be touched? And then you reach over and you touch her. Like, what was your going through your mind at
Or when
that
she's
point?
like, well, what's going to happen if I get cancer? And like, you know, I'm not going to say. He's like, well, no, you're right. That's a legitimate concern.
Yeah, I mean, we let Ramses
like,
get away
oh.
with a lot. We let Tyler
Oh,
get
man.
away with a lot. And honestly, I guess we let Tim get away with a lot too, because the Tim and Alex thing was just a he said, she said,
Oh, yeah,
talking
that
over
was-
each other. We really still have no idea really what went wrong there, other than they're just not compatible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and someone's thinking Ashley's trying to save face.
Oh, definitely. No doubt
Yeah.
about it.
She should be a politician's wife, to be honest with you. She's like, you
Yeah,
know,
no
I don't like.
there's all the evidence he's cheated.
Yeah.
He's my man.
It just was very
Yeah,
odd to
exactly.
me. They said they had that conversation, but it wasn't on camera. And then when they do turn on the camera, it's a different conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's full of shit. They had some conversations about it because they talked about that, but he didn't spill the whole beans, you know, before everybody else found out about it.
Why ask
online.
that? Would they know what you look like?
Exactly.
Yeah, it
Well,
just
and
doesn't make
she
sense.
claimed she did tell him all about that, but when the camera came on, they were trying to protect the kids. But I don't know how that protects the kids
Exactly.
by
No,
saying that
it
statement.
doesn't. That's just stupid. For her to say, yeah, he told me about it, but then to go on camera and say, do they know what you look like? Why the hell would you ask him that question
And it's
if he had told you about it
clear-
already? You know,
It's clear that
stupid.
two of those kids are not donor kids.
No, not at
They're
all.
kids
I mean, they
he had
freaking-
from a relationship with this woman.
Exactly.
So, like, why play it out on camera that it's only a donor
Yeah,
situation?
yeah, it's just stupid.
I mean, do we got anyone on Team Hannah out here, you know?
Yeah, I know. No. It seems like all of our viewers are on Team Nick right now, man.
Does Hannah want to jump on here and be like, I'm Team Hannah? Is Nick on here liking all the hate comments?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't regretful about a single thing. I mean, she's just like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But she's in therapy to work on it. But
So-
that is who she is.
so
Like, it's like she's okay
after-
with it, but not.
All this, who's the villain of season 7?
Hannah.
Hannah?
Oh, wait.
Tyler.
Ramsey.
To me, it's Tyler.
Oh, my God.
Ramsey's a Tyler, probably.
There's too many.
Yeah,
You
right.
got Hannah,
I'm
you got
still-
Tyler, you got Ramses, and
Yeah.
I think you got Tim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe to an extent, Tim. But really, Hannah, Tyler, and Ramsey's for me, man. Those are like three main ones that I'm just like, man.
I feel like Leo gets off the hook. And
He-
Steven was like a big one too, but
Yeah, he was, but like that
kinda
got
dropped
shut-
off.
Yeah, but those got shut down so quick, right? Like Leo didn't even make it to, you know, I mean, they went their little trip to Miami, became friends, whatever. He wasn't on the rest of the show. You know, the Steven thing was.
Leo also, the worst thing, other than him just being annoying and talking
Yeah,
about his money
all
and
the time.
arrogant and all that stuff, the worst thing he actually did is how he treated Hannah during
Right.
that little breakup, and he owned every part of it.
Oh yeah, no, he did. He owned up to all.
You
his-
know?
all
well,
his
it's
crap.
weird that Hannah let Leo walk all over her, but she walks all over Nick, right?
Well, because she feels superior to Nick.
I think
right.
it's all about her.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
pecking
right.
order, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So,
Leo had money,
Yeah, exactly.
you know? Maybe she didn't know Leo had money, but he forgot that he
she
wasn't
came
supposed
off
to tell
like a
people
completely
that.
different person when she was talking to Leo and then when
Yeah.
she was talking to
She
Nick
actually
later.
came across to me, because you remember in the pods, I wasn't watching it. I was only listening.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what she looked like. And she actually came across very insecure and quiet. Like, I would say quiet, but like
Yeah, she wasn't quiet.
timid. No, she seemed like she would not stand up to a guy. I didn't feel like she would be that way. And then, so in the pods, I feel like she was a completely different person with both of them than she was
when we saw later. Yeah,
actually
I
in
agree with that.
person.
Yeah, I mean, the villain for me is either Hannah or Tim. And I'm not saying Alex is not at fault at all, but I don't know, something about Tim just came off wrong to me.
Miss Chain says it right here. And I said this in the Mexico episode, and I said it in the breakup episode when he kept saying, can I finish? Can I talk? And the fact that his face did turn red a lot tonight when he was talking.
I felt like
he
he
has
gets
anger
really
issues.
pissed
No, he
and
does.
emotional, but he kind of controls it a little bit, if you ask me. He doesn't just lash out.
He controls it in this environment. What
Right.
does he do when he's
Behind
not
the-
on
behind the-
camera, when he's not got someone watching?
He don't want to
him?
be disrespected.
That's right. Don't be called a little bitch.
Don't call him a little bitch.
Oh man.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Havoc thinks Tim had a right to be angry.
Yeah.
And I think he had a right to be angry, but I think the way he handles things sometimes, you can definitely tell that dude's got, he probably does have anger issues, a little bit,
Yeah.
but.
I mean, he takes things too personal and
Right.
digs too deep into it. She's sleeping, his parents, is that a major thing? Can a person be tired?
And especially if it went down the way she was saying it went down,
Right.
now that we
And he
understand
didn't
it.
deny
I don't
that.
think- No, he didn't.
He didn't argue that fact about it, so...
Even though he was shaking his head the whole time when she was
Yeah.
like, we spent 4 or 5 hours with his parents, and he's over there shaking his head no, so yeah.
I do agree.
Who knows?
Someone on here said that she didn't like him any more than he didn't like her, and I get that.
Yeah.
She definitely, when he came out in the reveal and was doing the dog woof 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 thing, she was like, oh my god, she got the ick
Right.
at that point in time. Hannah's little
Well,
ick.
he came out. I knew it. I knew you was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Tim is just not a chill person.
No.
I think at the
No.
end of the day, and she needs someone more chill than him for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, but yeah.
But it wasn't the fact that she was just a complete, very messy person. When you saw her house, dude, I was holy
that
crap, was
would
horrible.
be tough.
Yeah, that would be
They're
very
not
tough.
compatible people.
I just don't understand
like
how you could be that messy where you're going on a show. Sometimes they show your place.
Yeah.
You're not even going to try and
Oh,
clean
yeah,
it up.
No, oh, no.
Yeah.
That mess was disgusting. I was like, holy crap.
So, yeah, I just think if he didn't say that stuff to her dad and broke up, then okay, hey, we aren't compatible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, at the end of the day, he probably should have never gone to meet her parents. If he was still really having those doubts and told her 3 hours after the meeting with the parents he was still having doubts, and it's like, yeah, he probably just shouldn't even went.
I mean, some people just aren't compatible. And, is there a question of
No.
Ramses and Marissa not being compatible? Because she's like, you didn't even let me have a say. He's like, well, you don't really get a say if I'm breaking up with you.
Dude, I said that from the get-go, that she was trying to force something that was never there,
Yeah.
right? They're not compatible. She was trying to force it, and it wasn't gonna happen, man. It wasn't gonna work. It was pretty easy to see that.
Should she have gone with Bode?
Probably.
Now there's news on him too. He's kind of weird
Well,
too.
that's true. Yeah, he had.
What do you got on him?
He's talking about Steven being freaky.
Really?
I guess Bowden's a little freaky. He likes to get a little rough with the girls, and
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Bowden's I guess there's some kind of chat thing in DC of are we dating the same person or something
yeah.
like that, where women basically get on there and be post pictures of the guys and be like, I went on a date with this guy. Don't do it.
Yeah. Well,
It's a warning situation,
yeah, well,
and
'cause
apparently he got rough with someone without because
she had said
That's
that
the problem.
she had said they'd had rough sex before, right? She's like, he's been rough before, but she's like, this particular night he went way beyond the boundaries and all this stuff, right? So, yeah, who knows?
So overall, season 7, what do you think?
It let me down, man. It was pretty damn boring, I think. The little bit of drama there was, it didn't, on the finale here, on the reunion, it didn't come out as drama, it just came out as whining, right? There was so much whining here in the reunion, and it was just, they drug out the whininess, and I was like, come on, man. I was so ready for this episode to be over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I fell asleep. So
And this season, I felt like, we've seen previous seasons where, I think it was 1 or 2, the women were kind of the villains, and now it was mainly guys on this season, except for Hannah.
Except for
I would
Hannah,
say.
yeah. That's true.
yeah. But the women did gang up, all the women kind of ganged up on Nick.
Oh, they were all ganging.
Yeah.
They're not a fan of Nick.
No, they
Yeah.
weren't.
And Nick and Vanessa were
Well, it's
keep
probably
going,
because-
guys, keep going.
Hannah is a strong personality, and she
Yeah.
rallies the girls, I guess.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So-
Yeah, 'cause you could tell all the girls are pretty close. So, but then the guys are the same way, right? They're like, oh yeah, we're all bros here. We hang out all the time and whatever.
Everyone's going fishing with Garrett, apparently.
Right.
So,
Except Nick Lachey, he didn't get to go. Man.
yeah, Nick Lachey didn't get to go, but Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, overall, I thought it was a fairly disappointing season.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I mean, especially like there was no like at the altar, what are people going to say? Normally, people are guessing, and then like there's all kinds of drama there. They cut that kind of out this year. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but
The Ashley and Tyler thing, with the only suspense on that one was, does she find out before the altar? Which apparently she already knew. I don't know, but
she didn't.
other than that, like we knew if they were going to be a yes. If she didn't find out, we knew Garrett and Taylor were going to be a yes, and then nobody else made it to the altar. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This whole season was pretty much a letdown. I mean, I'm really hoping the next season. And they brought some contestants from the next season on, right? They brought 3 people, and
yeah, that was
Minneapolis.
interesting.
But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. I really, like I said, I said it earlier in one of our episodes, a couple weeks ago, that it just, we're so far away from what season 1 was, right? At this point,
True.
It's just like it just gets worse and worse, and I'm just like, when can we get something better?
So Havoc also says that they blame the editors. Too many fights were left on the cutting room floor. And I did hear this. I heard somewhere on social media that this taping was like 10 hours long. And so there were a lot of arguments and discussions
the taping
of the reunion.
Wow.
Yeah, were edited and cut out.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't cut out like the past people. Then
Right? Yeah. Like
what did that
why
really
keep that
add?
boring crap in here? Yeah, exactly.
Look, they like it.
they totally did not know where to go with Tim and Alex. They let those
No.
guys argue for like 20 minutes, and
Well,
then it was
apparently
going nowhere.
that could have been a way longer of an argument as far as we know.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But I did know, and I didn't want to tell you guys because it kind of got spoiled to me. I did know that Tyler was going to be let off the hook because someone who had, I guess, knowledge of the 10-hour taping said in the 10 hours, Tyler never, he had it very easy
Right, he
throughout the
never
whole
held
10
to account.
hours.
Yeah, and we do have the woman that has the kids talking kind
we've
of
seen
negative
all
about
those
Tyler
videos,
too.
man,
So
yeah.
that's not really adding up with what he says.
And as far as the fact that he owes her child support, that's all over the place. And there's, I guess he's got a couple court cases against him for
It
money.
would have been
owed
cool
and
if
stuff,
she had gone on there, but again,
Yeah.
she didn't sign up for the show.
Right, that's right.
Obviously you don't want the kids
Well,
involved,
he's saying
but-
he's trying to protect them. Like, what is her thoughts on all this and that? Mm-hmm. And you can leave the kids out. She can explain what's going on
Right.
between
Yeah.
this whole
But
thing.
the fact that man you just married had absolutely 100% had a relationship with those kids before he came on this show,
And now
he
doesn't.
had for this past year has not had a relationship with those kids at all. I hadn't even seen them from what we understand, from what we've seen.
That's very hard on him, though.
And it's like, yeah, right. It's crazy,
sad.
freaking crazy, man.
yeah, casting needs to step up. They need to do a better job of vetting some of these people.
Yeah,
I mean,
big time.
some people aren't there except to get famous, and there are rumors like Nick did not apply. They sought him out. Like, why
Yeah.
would you do that?
Well, and even you saw Taylor said the same thing. Taylor said they hit her up here on the reunion.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, when they came to me and asked me to come on the show, I was like, okay, why not?
Well,
I guess that one worked out though.
Right.
I know that they just said the next one is in Minneapolis, but I've seen some stuff on social media that people in Cincinnati are getting DM'd about.
So season 9 will be
So-
Cincinnati.
The next one after that was most likely going to be Cincinnati.
Well, they're not going to stop, but I wish they would. I wish they would do like different themes. I really would like see an
man.
older crowd or like people who've already been married. Do something to mix it up.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
have people
they
who've
gotta
already
do
been
something,
married.
man.
Yeah, but a whole season of those.
Of
Classics.
just
like a whole-
all
like a-
divorcees.
Yeah, like a whole season of like 40 somethings with
Yeah.
I mean, because at this point, that UK one was more refreshing.
Oh, the
to
UK
me.
was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
way better
Well,
than any
and
of the
this
most
one's-
recent American seasons.
When the season first started and you learned all their ages, you're like, oh, maybe this is going to be better because in previous seasons you'd had like 21-year-olds, and it's like, do you really want to like meet someone blindly and get married at 21?
Right. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and all these, I think the youngest was 28. So like these were all in their most of them in their 30s, like an appropriate time to get married. So you thought you'd have a better chance.
I just don't even know if half the people on the show are like ready to get married.
Right, hell no. they're
Clearly not.
Yeah.
Like ready, like that's like number one. Are these
Exactly.
people ready to get married?
No, and that's one thing they should really be vetting, right, when they're talking to these people and vetting them, and because I think Nick said, one of the little interviews he did where he said that he said we do like 10 to 12 interviews, right? He said they constantly vet us, they're constantly interviewing us, asking us questions, and it's like, well, obviously they're asking you the wrong questions because they sure as hell aren't vetting you guys good enough.
A 40+ Love is Blind.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like
would
the
like
Golden
it.
Bachelor.
I would
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
like to
I'd be
see
down
it
for
for
that.
one season.
Yeah, exactly. See how it
Yeah.
goes, because I mean, it's all basically pretty much going to be all divorcees who've got kids who are probably pretty close to being grown at this point, right?
It's got to be somewhere in Florida. It's like the retirement area, right? You want older people? Where are the older people at?
Yeah, old Freddie. Everyone loves
Oh,
Freddie.
yeah, everybody
Oh,
loves Freddie. Freddie. Yeah.
So, and that's like a perfect example, right? They let Freddie, like his brother walked him and, he broke it up at the altar. Why not this season?
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't want to do that.
Right.
Look at this one. The baby mama said she would bring the kids to the wedding, and he ghosted her.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I read, because
Yeah.
the baby mama said that. That's right. I remember her saying that. Like, hey, I was like,
Wow.
we were planning on me bringing the kids to the wedding and making a big deal out of it, and he just completely ghosted. Yeah, I
Well,
remember
he
her
didn't
saying
want
that.
him on camera.
Well, if
Right.
that's like their dad, why not?
Exactly.
Didn't want him on camera.
Why
Exactly.
wouldn't the kids be there for that moment?
They didn't sign up for it.
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were
I
doing.
don't know.
they-
There's more to it. I'm disappointed in Ashley on this. Like, it's one thing if she's like, he told me the full deal. This is what it is, and I forgave him.
Yeah. But
Well,
that's not
that's
it.
kind of what she's saying.
Nah,
But
she's in
lying.
denial a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's in
completely lying
denial.
to cover his ass. So
They seem very
it was
happy
obvious.
together.
Oh yeah, they seem very happy.
Yeah, but she's gonna resent him for it in the future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then again, what happens if they have kids and they get divorced and then he just ghosts her kids for some other chick, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, that's true, having, especially if people are going to lie. And like Tyler, he seems like, very believable with what he tells people. So, with his lies.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But season 7 in the can.
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, I mean, I was just very disappointed in this reunion, man. I was like, God, it should not have been an hour and a half long.
And thanks for airing a 90-minute show at 9:00 at night.
Right? Yeah, no kidding.
Well, if
In
you're
the
on the
middle of the
West
week.
Coast, it's not that bad, right?
That's true. Yeah, but they're in LA doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but they were there for 10 hours filming that crap, though. Damn. Well,
All right.
yeah, there you have it, folks. So that is season 7 down. Thank God, because I was getting tired of it.
Wow.
This
We
has
were
been-
so excited for this one.
I know, right?
It was close.
Because we do live. We don't do live very often. We enjoy doing live, and we love hearing some of the comments and talking with you guys. It's great.
Yeah, and this was supposed to be a good season because it's in D.C.
Yeah.
It's local
Where
to
we're
us.
at, yeah, exactly.
They didn't even show many sites in
No, they
D.C.
didn't.
We
No.
were like maybe hoping we could go to some of the bars and check some of the stuff out. They didn't even showcase it very much.
No.
No.
Yeah,
And they
no.
weren't even staying in D.C. They were staying in Alexandria.
Well,
Or Arlington.
Yeah, Arlington.
They were in
I guess you're right,
Arlington.
yeah.
close
Yeah.
enough, I guess.
Alexandria, Arlington, they're the same
The
thing.
same distance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but anyways, hey guys, thank you all for checking in with us and watching us, and we love doing this, and we appreciate you guys, and I guess we will see y'all for season 8. Check you later.
See ya.